y'all, the way she was talking to me and gassing me, I would have thought that I was a billionaire and that I was on Oprah status and that I had all these money and all these businesses. And I didn't have none of that. I just was just regular old me. Hey everybody, it's Charmel. Welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be titled 2020 is still my year. So it's crazy how life happens. When I originally wrote the notes for this video, it was in February, and for some reason I just never put the video out. I didn't have a title for it at the time. It was kind of centered around like success, but I don't know, I just didn't have that urge, or it was just, I felt like it was missing something, honestly. But yeah, like most people, I started 2020 very excited. I was very excited for the new year. 2020 has kind of been coined as the year of vision and hindsight, and so I put out a video all about vision and how I wrote out my vision for 2020. Similar to like a vision board, but I literally have like pages of everything that I wanted to see happen for my life, for my family's life, all of that in this new year. And then it was like, boom, coronavirus. We all know the novel coronavirus, which basically put the whole world on lockdown for some months. We create these things and it just seemed like how easily the lives that we know can just be swept from under our feet without us even expecting it. And you know, although there was a lot going on, I was still very hopeful, and I was like, okay, you know, this is happening right now, but I was just, again, I was still very hopeful for all the things that I was manifesting for this year. And then boom, we have the death of Breonna Taylor, we have the death of George Floyd, and it's June 14th today, and there was also another unarmed black man who was murdered by the police just this weekend in Atlanta. I'm sorry, I don't have his name off the top of my head. It's just been so much unrest this year. During this time period of trying to figure out just how to stay sane, I was reminded of these notes that I had wrote back in February for this video. Now I understand what was missing. I didn't see the storm that was ahead of us and how beneficial that these notes would be at a later time. I know a lot of people are feeling really discouraged and really defeated, and so I just want to let you guys know that 2020 is not over and it's still your year. You can still have a successful year. You can still accomplish everything that you set out to do this year. So my first point is to stop living to please other people. I wouldn't say I'm a people pleaser per se, but I'm very non-confrontational, so I do try to avoid confrontations, as unnecessary confrontations, as much as possible. Based on my background and how I grew up, I was always kind of raised, you know, if you do what you're supposed to do, life will work out. And as I got older, I found out that that wasn't always the case. Even when you do the right thing, you know, life is still gonna throw you curveballs. So I had to really learn how to stop living to please other people. Right now, my ultimate goal in life is to please God. I've just been working really hard on making sure my life is in alignment with the Word of God and focusing on my journey, and you know, really getting in tune with my purpose. I'm not perfect, y'all. I still got a lot of areas I need to clean up. I make mistakes, I sin. Okay, I'm working on all of that, but I can say that over the last few years, I have definitely made a lot of changes in with just overall developing my relationship with God and strengthening that. So, and then right after that, my priority is my peace, my happiness, and so really putting energy into the things that make me happy, into the things that bring me peace. And my second point is to define success for yourself. People view success very differently. There is no right or wrong way to be successful. Somebody may think, you know, obtaining $1 million is the ultimate pinnacle of success, while another may feel like, you know, $1 million is just pocket change. And then you have some people who just, you know, they're okay with just making sure their bills are paid every month, and none of them are wrong. In each scenario, whatever works for that person works for that person. And a lot of times we feel inadequate, or you know, we feel like we're not making it in life, because we're viewing ourselves and measuring ourselves based on someone else's definition of success, regardless of what society says, what the government says, what your friends may say. What is it that makes you happy, and stand on that and believe in that. So now moving on to point 3. So we are going through a huge reconstruction right now in our society, and on the surface it's very scary, although it's kind of like we're going through this period of unknown, and a lot of people are starting over. In doing that, while we're all starting over, I want to emphasize the importance of understanding your real and true audience and demographic. Success is oftentimes centered around popularity, and it's centered around fame and around numbers and money. A lot of us, we feel like we've made it when we've been able to attract these big brands, and what we're learning is that a lot of these big brands, they do not have our best interests at heart. A lot of these big brands are putting out statements for marketing purposes. I'm just leave that at that. It's important that whatever you're starting to understand who your real audience is, to understand who your real supporters are, and to build around that. And it's interesting because at the time when I wrote these notes, I specifically wrote this point in because I had went to a funeral for a family member, and you know how Black people are, we always turn funerals into family reunions. At this funeral, I met a lot of family members who I had never met before. And so it was one person, and specifically my little cousin. She couldn't have been more than 8 years old. But when I tell you guys, she gassed me so hard, okay? She gassed me so hard, and she spoke so much life into me. I thought I was Oprah after I had met her, because that's exactly how she made me feel. She made me feel like I was somebody. And I'm telling you guys this because, you know, even with my beauty channel here, I would feel for a long time I felt like I was overlooked, and that my numbers should be better than what they were. And I would harbor that resentment, and sometimes we're so caught up on attracting a certain audience or attracting certain numbers that we overlook the real support and the real appreciation that we get from people. Through that experience, she just taught me that even when you think no one's watching, the people who you affect in real life, they see it. We're so focused on the ones that aren't looking that we're bypassing and missing opportunities to minister or to do whatever it is that we're meant to do to the people who need it most or who appreciate it the most. Like, y'all, the way she was talking to me and gassing me, I would have thought that I was a billionaire and that I was on Oprah status and that I had all these money and all these businesses, and I didn't have none of that. I just was just regular old me. But yeah, it just really made me shift my mindset and made me want to continue this year making sure that I'm focusing and showing love to the people who focus and show love to me. And once you start that exchange, it'll just continue to grow. It'll continue to feed off. It'll continue to expand, and it'll continue to move in the way that it's intended to move. And as long as I'm touching the people that it's meant to, it doesn't have to reach millions. If it's only meant to reach 5 and to minister to 5 and to speak to 5 and to help the 5, then I'm going to show up and show out for those 5 people. My last step is that success equals serving. Yeah, I feel like a lot of times when we think about success, we always center it around ourselves and what we want. It's always me, me, me. So if you think of anyone who you consider successful, 9 times out of 10, those people are successful because they're doing something for others. Whether they're making a sacrifice for someone, whether they're providing a service for someone, whether they're producing goods for people, they're successful because they're serving someone else. Again, I spent a lot of time just focusing on myself and what I want and what makes me happy. And don't get me wrong, those things are also important, but once you kind of get yourself in check. I feel like it's a duty to share our gifts with other people. Ideally, our gifts weren't created for us. We don't use our gifts to sit in the mirror and to be like, oh, I'm really good at this. Success is not self-serving, and I think that kind of scares people away sometimes when we think like, oh, I have to do this for everyone else. But I also believe in the principle of give and it shall be given unto you, and I just believe in how everything comes full circle. So as long as I'm putting good out, I'm putting that out to come back to me. If you aren't ready to serve someone, you aren't ready to serve others, then you're not ready to be successful. And so that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give you guys those 5 tips as we kind of go through this reconstruction period, and just some things to think about as we're starting to rebuild our brands, or as we're starting to redefine who we are and who we want to be in this world. The year is not over. We halfway through. I don't know what else we about to get hit with, but it's not over, and we still have time to turn it around, and we still have time to make real changes and to, you know, just push forward and create meaningful life experiences, create that overall happiness and success that we are looking for. So that is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.